video, you will learn how to find the area using scale measurements. We learned how to use scale measurements all the way back in chapter 5. The difference here is that we are going to be using those scale measurements to now find an area of an actual, in this case, kitchen. So the main and most important thing that you need to know about applying scale to area is that you must use the scale first on the measurements given and then find the area. What do I mean by that? It says the floor plan of your new kitchen is shown at the right. You plan to put new hardwood flooring down this summer and need to know how many boxes to purchase. Flooring comes in boxes of 50 square feet. How many boxes will you need to buy to make sure you have enough for your kitchen? The scale of your floor plan is 2 inches to 5 feet. So if we remember back from when we did this, in chapter 5, when we find the scale, we want to first figure out that if 2 inches is 5 feet, 1 inch would be how many feet? In this case, it would be half of 5, which is 2.5. Now we need to take all of our measurements and multiply them by 2.5 so that we know what they are in feet. So 7 times 2.5 is 17.5. 5 times 2.5 is 12.5. 4 times 2.5 is 10. And 2 times 2.5 is 5. Once I do that, I am going to approach this problem the same way I approached the problems we did the other day with splitting my kitchen into 2 rectangles and finding the area that way. So if I split this into rectangle A and rectangle B, I'm going to find the area using my new measurements. So if you look at rectangle A, it looks like we actually don't have any measurements on there. So I'm going to use a different color so we can see here a little bit better. 17.5 is this total side here. We want to know just this portion right here. So in order to figure that out, we have to look all the way across here to see that this portion where we cut it off is only 10 feet. And so that means this top portion would be the rest, which would be 7.5 feet. Now we need to find the length of section A. Again, this is not measured, so we have to look all the way across at the bottom. That's 12.5 feet. But that stops here. So we need to take 12.5, and then we need to take away this extra 5 to give us what is left as 7.5 feet. So section A is a square. That is the side length squared is how you find the area of a square, 7.5 times 7.5. You could also, again, still use the rectangle formula because a square is a rectangle, so length times width is still going to give you the same answer. When I find the area of 7.5 times 7.5, I get 56.25 square feet for section A. And then section B, we already know the measurements of section B, but you want to be careful that you make sure you don't use the 17.5, because again, that's the full length. You want to use just the 10, just this portion here, times 12.5. So that's length times width, 12.5 times 10, which is an area of 125 square feet. And then we will add the two together for a total of 181.25 square feet. Now, most of the time we would think, okay, we're done. But we need to go back and reread the question, because the question actually said how many boxes will you need to buy if they come in boxes of 50 square feet. So for our final step, and I'll switch colors one more time just so you can follow where I am on the screen. There's kind of a lot going on here, but our final step is that I need to take my answer of 181.25 and divide it by 50 square feet to see how many boxes I need to buy. Now, that's not going to go in evenly. You're going to get 3.625 boxes. But let's think about this. When you go to the store to buy something that's in a box, can you buy a fraction of a box? No, you cannot. If I only buy 3 boxes, I won't have enough because I need more than 3. So I am going to say I need 4 boxes of flooring. Again, main thing you need to know is that you need to use your scale first. So before you do anything else, before you find any areas, you're going to convert all of the measurements in your picture to your new measurement using the scale first, whatever is given to you in the problem. Then once you have your new measurements, you will find the area of the figure.